Attention Eagles fans, a storm of news is shaking the teams backstage, with moves that could change the path of the Super Bowl winning defense. Unexpected decisions, surgical reinforcements, and a possible pursuit of a talent who, despite going through injuries, may be the missing piece to take the team to another level. Heated rivalries and speculations fuel the fans, while GM Howie Roseman shows the roster is still open for business. Welcome! Show your support for the Eagles by reaching 100 likes on today's video. The first major move catching our attention involves Julian Blackmon, a 26-year-old safety who recently caught the eye of NFL analysts and representatives as one of the free agents with the greatest potential for return, even facing a recent injury history. After 5 seasons with the Colts, his experience includes 7 interceptions in the last 31 games, a significant performance confirming his talent. Although injuries, especially a shoulder injury last year, limited his play and required tactical adaptation to protect him in the defense. Signing with the Eagles would be a strategic, low-risk, high-reward bet for the team. The Eagles have considerable cap space, which opens the door for bold and targeted investments. Blackmon's move fits perfectly in this scenario. Given the recent history of injured players joining the team, like Azeez Ojulari, who has huge talent but is battling against the clock and physical limitations, adding a top-tier safety, even with a troubled health past, signals Roseman's aggressive mindset to reinforce the defense. This move could balance the secondary with a player who, if recovered, has the potential to be dominant. Historically, the franchise is not afraid to take risks on athletes with untapped potential, through short contracts, prove-it deals, or bets that might yield short-term results and medium-term stability. In this sense, interest in Blackmon aligns with a league moment where champions make surgical moves to maintain a strong core, even sacrificing stability in favor of pieces that could explode in performance. Blackmon's comeback post-surgery still fuels debates about his conditioning and response capacity, and the Eagles have perfect timing to insert an ambitious and hungry player into their defensive system. For the coaching staff, especially the defensive coordinator, Blackmon's arrival could mean filling a valuable slot in the scheme, as well as tactical resilience, allowing varied formations between deep safety and midfield coverage, crucial elements to stop fast offenses in the National Conference. Blackmon's background in the tough AFC South division, especially against high-powered offenses, could bring important insights to the Eagles' defense, aiming to bolster their strong performance from last year with precise adjustments to face even sharper opponents. The timing of this possible signing is strategic, as the Eagles have invested heavily in their defensive line during the preseason preparation, which also suffered important losses. This roster transition reflects the coaching staff's acknowledgement of weaknesses and gaps needing to be filled to stay competitive in 2024. With a real possibility, as murmurs suggest Blackmon might accept a 1-year contract to prove his worth and secure a spot in a young and promising roster, interest around the player is causing waves along NFL corridors. While assessing the feasibility of this signing, revisiting Blackmon's profile and games reveals a defense that could ride on the athlete's raw, explosive talent, who has already shown tactical maturity and ability to make decisive plays despite physical limitations. The connection between his aggressive style and the Eagles' defensive philosophy could break barriers and regain the trust of a skeptical audience used to seeing talent wasted by injuries. Now, shifting completely, another recent news piece complements the discussion. The Eagles reinforced their defensive line with 2 unexpected signings on the eve of their first training camp practice: veteran pass rusher Ugbo Okoronkwo and defensive tackle Jacob Sykes. This move clearly signals the franchise's intent to fill an evident gap, especially after losing crucial players in the offseason. Ugbo Okoronkwo, entering his 8th NFL season, arrives with a solid track record of 17 sacks, including 7.5 last season with the Browns, representing valuable experience for a roster that, despite youth and talent, lacks proven veterans. Signing a 30-year-old veteran recently released is a pragmatic move, showing an aggressive strategy to strengthen the line with prove-it players who can exceed expectations and swiftly earn their spot. At the same time, working with Jacob Sykes brings a defensive tackle with an unconventional path, from Harvard's Ivy League to UCLA and then the UFL before joining the Seahawks, reinforcing the Eagles football department's idea of prospecting undervalued talents fitting young, versatile, and adaptive schemes. Sykes represents a bet on depth and roster customization in positions demanding high physical and technical skill. It is no coincidence that to make room for these new additions, the Eagles waived edge rusher KJ Henry and running back Lew Nichols. These decisive moves reflect a clear plan, renewing and fine-tuning the roster, seeking the ideal mix of youth, experience, and versatility to keep the aggressive and dynamic defense that was key to the title. The departures of names like Josh Sweat and the retirement of franchise icon Brandon Graham raise the stakes for new pieces to deliver both stability and immediate results. Depth in the defensive unit, especially on the defensive line, now features an interesting mix of emerging potential and proven talent. Nolan Smith and Jalix Hunt lead a young group, backed by the toughness and experience of Okoronkwo, along with players like Ojulari, Uche, and others finding their space. The newcomers' addition shows the Eagles understand that repeating success requires tactical adjustments and efficient rotation to avoid fatigue and injuries. From the coaching staff's viewpoint, Okoronkwo's arrival brings field experience in decisive moments and a physical presence crucial for adjusting pass rush and containment tactics. Meanwhile, Sykes offers valuable internal rotation options on the defensive line, allowing greater flexibility against varied offensive schemes. This movement indicates that the Eagles, despite being champions, are not complacent or satisfied with the current squad. On the contrary, there is clear determination to maintain a competitive, deep team capable of adapting to the NFL's increasing demands, where injuries and Plan B are constant. The backgrounds and trajectories of these players point to an ideology mixing pragmatism with boldness, essential to sustain the team's shine. With these two news blocks, it becomes evident that the Eagles seek a delicate balance between calculated risks, as we see with Blackman, and targeted reinforcements with veterans who excite for their capacity to contribute immediately. Both moves reflect the identity of a team that does not forget recent lessons and bets on a clear vision for the future. A versatile, young defense with leaders and players ensuring consistent results. In summary, as Roseman and the coaching staff work on roster composition aiming to strengthen the defense, Eagles fans should watch closely decisions that go far beyond known names, involving market strategies, athlete health, and direct impact on performance on the field. Roster regeneration requires understanding the potential and limits of these reinforcements, and the season's success may depend on these choices. Now, Eagles fans, do you think the front office should bet fully on Julian Blackman despite injury risks? Or would it be better to focus exclusively on veterans who already have guaranteed spots? How do you evaluate this mix of youth, experience, and risk in the championship roster? Leave your opinion in the comments, and let's deeply debate these choices that can define the defense's future. If you like the analysis, don't forget to like the video, comment your thoughts, and subscribe to the channel to follow everything about the Eagles with depth and straightforwardness. Your support is essential to bring more detailed and exclusive content to the most passionate NFL fan base.